What's going on, pile? This is Escape from Tarkov. It's a terrible shooter game. Super popular right now because it's got loot. Gimps love loot. It's really just a looter game. A looter with some shooter on the side. So I call it a looter shooter. There's zero skill in this game at all. What it is really just gear versus gear. It's essentially a shooter version of World of Warcraft. So whoever has the better gear is going to win a fight. So for any Gimp who doesn't understand what's going on here, you get 45 minutes, you get dropped into this map, and then you loot as much as you can for 45 minutes, and then you have to go to an extraction point. So the extraction points are random every time you go into a map, different. And not all the extraction points work for every player, so you get a different set every time. But we're on a map called Reserve, and on Reserve, there's one extraction point that's always open, and it's called the manhole. And this is what we're looking at right here. So Gimps come into the game, they'll loot as much as they can, as fast as they can, and then they go to the manhole and they try to extract from there as quick as they can, right? Because they don't want to fight any players, they don't want to shoot people, they just want to get loot and then run away. So what I did, easily discovered this grief mechanic here, is what all we do is we sit and wait, we camp out right here at the spot, right next to the well. People get so mad when you do this. So they run around for 45 minutes or for half an hour or 20 minutes, whatever it is, gathering all this loot. And once they find it, they come here to extract. Guess who's waiting for them? That's right, it's me. So they come here, they try to extract, and right when they think they're going to escape with all their loot, they're so happy because they're at the extraction point. They're so happy. And then they just get instantly killed by me because I'm sitting up in the bush like a griefer. And that's what you're looking at right here. So When you see this view, this screen, what you see on the right where it says loot, that's all the loot that the Gimp had on him. So there's different pieces of gear can all hold loot. Like you have a vest that holds loot, you have a backpack that holds loot, you have guns. So you have to open them up. Every one of them, you have to open them up and see what kind of items are inside, and then you can take it or leave it, whatever you want. Dry loot, full dry looter. Yeah, these Gimps, they every time this happens to somebody, they crush their keyboard, they're smashing their computers, everything. Just insane amounts of anger, and they're angry because they know they can kill me. I mean, I'm coming in the game with the cheapest sniper rifle you can buy. It's a Mosin with the dog shit $10,000 scope. I mean, I come in completely naked except for this gun. That's all I have is a gun and headphones. And a vest, in case I need to loot anything, because you can only extract here with a vest. So I come in every time completely naked with just one shitty gun, some headphones on so I can hear Gimp, and a helmet, a vest. That's it. So anybody can one-shot me easily, because I'm not trying, I don't care about winning or fighting or anything like that. I just want to grief, and it works great. So the one thing that sucks ass about this game is that every time you spawn into the game, you get spawned into a random location throughout the map. Sometimes I'm so far away from my camping spot that I have to fight my way to it. So if you see any footage of me running around or not sitting in one spot looking at that manhole, it's because I got spawned somewhere far away from the manhole and I'm trying to run to it, and I have to fight Gimps along the way. So I don't ever want to do anything but sit at the manhole. I mean, if I could just play a character that even had zero movement and I just got spawned in right on that tower looking over the manhole cover, I would do it. So don't think that I'm trying to run around being, like Adventure Man and trying to be good at the game and pick up loot. I never pick up one piece of loot unless it's off a player's body. The developers of this game did a really great job of understanding the Gimp's brain and understanding what keeps him coming back. And you can see the evidence of that right here. So this is a shooter game, or supposed to be. This guy has no guns. He came into this game with just a giant backpack, one of the biggest backpacks, because all he wanted to do was loot. He wanted to open up boxes and then put loot into his backpack. That's all he wanted to do. Didn't even want to shoot. So when I say this is a looter, not a shooter, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Another thing that you notice is that a lot of these clips have different volume levels. And that's just because of the difference that having the headphones on makes. So in the game, you have this item that lets you hear everything a lot better, amplifies all sound. This is how Gimps kind of have like radar. You know, they can hear where you are. I can hear where the Gimp is by listening to his footsteps. When you don't have those on, you don't really hear anything at all. So you'll hear some horns in the background, the siren going off every once in a while because Gimps love to pull that. See, this Gimp right here is a perfect example. See, he didn't hear me coming at all because he didn't have headphones on, but I knew exactly where he was, so that's why the headphones are cheating. You always gotta have them. 100% necessity. If you're trying to be good at this game and actually kill people. Man, that guy was so excited. Another thing I want to point out, you probably noticed it now, you heard my guy just kind of like panting the whole time. It's because I never heal my guy, so I run around at like 2 health. When everyone else runs around at, 600 health or whatever it is. I never heal my guy. When I die in a match, I buy a Mosin rifle, I buy the scope, put it on, and I go right back into the game. I don't care, I don't heal, I don't care. Just one-shot me, I don't care. And this is a persistent game, so, when you leave a match at 10 health, you go into the next match at 10 health. If you go into a match right away, so it really matters. Every Gimp is healing between matches, they're eating food between matches. I don't care. It's going to every match starving and almost dead. This Gimp right here thought he knew where I was. He threw a grenade in the tower right there. But I wasn't in the tower, dude. I was in the griefer spot. This is what happens when you don't verify the kill. Only a griefer would be silent right there. And just for reference, he was standing on the extraction point right there. So he would have extracted safely in 5 more seconds. Notice right here that I'm listening to him reload his gun, and then I'm going to listen to him start eating some pills or something. So I know he's not moving. This is why I was starting to creep out towards the hallway, because I can tell by the sound that the Gimp isn't moving. But I'm crouched so far down that he can't hear me. This Gimp right here is at the sewer manhole cover, but then he realizes he can't extract there because he has a backpack on. So see, he stops and turns around, so now he's got to run to the other extract in the corner to the left by the tank. And he dies 5 feet from the extraction point. Now what you're about to see right here is a pretty common occurrence. So I just killed this guy, right? And I'm looting him, dry looting him, just drying him up like the Sahara Desert. And you'll notice you can start to hear footsteps in the distance. So I have to back out of the loot real quick. Anticipate where he's going. I know he's going in this room right here. And then he gets raped. Now, normally dry looting, it's a risky business because you kill a guy and you have to sit on the ground and dry loot him. So it's really puts you in a really vulnerable state where another Gimp could easily shoot you, kill you, whatever. So it's not easy to dry loot a Gimp. To the untrained eye, what you're looking at right here is, you know, I'm just drinking some apple juice that I found in this guy's backpack, you know, eating some Cheetos that I found. This is the ultimate disrespect, because you'd never want to just sit in one spot and eat food out of a guy's backpack, because the longer you're sitting on the ground, the higher the probability of you getting raped. So the fact that I'm even doing this is just to let, you know, everyone else know that I do not care. If you were paying attention right there, you'd notice my inventory was completely full. So I had raped so many Gimps, my inventory was full, and now it's time for me to extract. So this is the view that you get when you extract. You stand on the manhole for 8 seconds, you get a little green thing, and then you teleport out. That's it. It's so safe and warm. I hit this guy in the legs. It's just why you see him moving really slow right there. So I completely blew his kneecaps out, and he got snared for like 80%, which is great. Now this one here is a perfect example of the panic that happens. This guy's crouched right at the manhole, and he's got a buddy, so it's a two-man. His buddy just saw his friend get raped, and he has no idea where it came from, so he tries to extract as well. And that's exactly what you don't want to do. He just stood there and let me just blow his head off. This guy, he was running at me full speed. He knew where I was. He knew he was going to kill me and everything. That's why I'm panting, because he shot me once on the way down. He knew he had me. But now, it's getting dried up. This is another example of a high-risk looter situation right here. So some high-intensity loot action. I got 2 corpses that I'm looting, right? And as I'm looting, again, I hear somebody coming up behind me. Now, that was an AI. That was a computer. But then I hear another guy yelling nearby, so I know that they're coming for me. I'm at like 2 health, so if they shoot me once anywhere, I'm dead. So I make the choice to extract. With all the Gimps loot that I had, I mean, my inventory was full anyway, so. I don't know what this guy was doing. I didn't even notice him at first. You never lay down right in the open like that. I've never seen that. I don't know, this Gimp was brain defect or something. This one here was right at the start of the match. This guy went into this building to loot, and he heard me on the outside. So I was waiting outside for like 5 minutes for him to come out, because he heard me. He knew I was out there. He didn't know that I had to angle through the window, and he ended up getting dry looted. So do you remember when I said that nobody cares about shooting in this game? It's all just about looting. So this is a perfect example. A lot of guys come in the game, they'll come in without any weapons at all, because all they want to do is loot. This guy has no guns. He just has a little pickaxe or whatever, and a backpack full of loot. So he came in thinking that, you know, he was just going to loot everything he could for half an hour and then extract. That's all he wanted to do was loot. But then he didn't know that that griefer would be at the manhole, so it's dried up. Last thing I want to note, because a lot of Gimps will watch this and think, oh, this guy's terrible, you know, he probably dies all the time. And you're correct. You are right. I do die all the time. Difference is, first of all, I don't care. Secondly, take a look at the inventory on your left. Right there. That's my gear that I'm wearing. I have absolutely nothing on except for a gun. So when a Gimp kills me, he gets nothing. He gets a gun, maybe. My gun is shit anyway, so he probably wouldn't even pick it up. The whole point is, when a Gimp kills me, they get no joy, they get nothing. When I kill a Gimp, I get 45 minutes worth of their time and all their loot. Like I said, if I die, I immediately buy a dog shit gun for 10 grand and a scope for 10 grand, and I go straight back into the match. I don't care. This is a bonus clip for you. I found a gun in a basement, and I heard some Gimps coming. So this is what happens when you have grief or patience. Hog for life, Gimps.